It 100 podcast. We are celebrating our 100th interview today, under 3 months. So, shout out to all the people that have been supporting, hopping on the podcast with us. But right now, I have Mr. Elliot Major from Brooklyn, hip hop artist. I just dropped the project, I believe. I will confirm that once he comes on. But yeah, that's what we got today. Celebrating our 100th episode. So that's pretty dope. And again, happy Friday. I would say happy 4th of July, but that's tomorrow. I guess I could say happy 4th of July weekend. So there you go. But I am currently waiting for him to join me in the comment section. And once he does, I will start chatting it up with him. But for sure. But yeah. There he is. I'm in the middle of interview. All right. Oh yeah, what's good, bro?
What's going on, man? How
How
you?
you doing?
Chilling, man. Chilling, trying to maintain.
For sure. I appreciate you for joining me though.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Um I didn't get a chance to introduce you yet. I like to let the guests do that so I don't end up saying you guys' name wrong. So if you could introduce yourself.
Sure, no problem. I'm Elliot Major, out of Brooklyn and Queens, New York.
For sure. And do you mind speaking a little bit about any projects you have coming up or what you're currently working on?
Um, well, I actually have a EP out. I released it probably some months back. It's called Just Show Up. It's on all streaming platforms. I'm also working on a EP called Dark Reality. I don't have a date just yet, but I'm in the process of trying to, finish up the recording side of it. That's pretty much it. Just trying to work. I actually just finished building my home studio during this whole quarantine stuff, so trying to get back to work.
For sure. Sounds good. Do you as far as your home studio, you said you just finished building that.
Mm.
Do you use all the equipment in the studio as well, far as production and things of that nature?
Yes. I'm a songwriter, singer, rapper, producer, make beats. I'm starting to get back on the engineering side, so I'm still learning, but I'm trying to get my hands into everything.
For sure. Sounds good. And about what age did you get into music, seriously, get into it?
Seriously, um, well, I started singing when I was probably I was a young kid. My mom was a singer in church. She had me singing in the choir and stuff like that. Wasn't a real fan of it. So I kind of moved away from actually, singing and stuff like that. But I would say I got back into it around 21. I started off just making beats, and then maybe a year later started writing myself. And I was just recording myself just for fun, just to just for fun. And then the more and more I got into it, people was like, well, maybe you should try to take this a little serious. So I probably started taking it serious probably about 4 years ago. Maybe this is something that I want to do. So I started to invest in it a little bit more. So I probably say about 4 years ago.
For sure. And what about songwriting? Is that something that came easy, or was it a what kind of process was it?
Uh,
Songwriting.
Songwriting, in the beginning, it was more therapeutic. It was something that, growing up, I was an introvert. So I really was just to myself. And I didn't really like talk about my feelings a lot and stuff like that. So I started getting into, writing, and like my first song was just more just like me venting about something that happened that day. And it just seemed to be so natural just to try to talk about what I'm feeling in a creative way. So, it just sometimes I could write, you know, without any type of background music. I could just write whatever's going on in my head, and sometimes I'll hear like a beat or something, and it just comes like that to me. So it's a different process just depending on like what the mood is or what the vibe is. So sometimes I write without music, sometimes I write with music.
For sure. And far as inspirations as an artist, do you have anyone that like inspired you to like get into music?
Um, I would have to say the artist that actually got me into writing would be Joe Button. Yeah, like that's probably one of my favorite rap. Like I listen to music since I was young. So like, I grew up on Tupac, Biggie, DMX, Jadakiss, Fabulous, all of those, and even R&B singers as well, like uh Chris Brown, Usher, Genuine, all of those type of artists. But I would say the one artist that got me to like, maybe I should, start writing, Joe Button. I mean, he just how his storytelling is, how his lyricism is how his writing style is. That was just one person that just got me into, you know, just writing. So that's one. And I would say on the singing side, I would say the artist Black. Like those two artists right there kind of like got me into that zone of, okay, maybe I could try this. So, those are my two inspirations.
Okay, and the last question I just asked you actually ties into my next one,
Okay.
which uh, an artist's top five, no particular order. You have an option to use hip hop artists past their current, or you can even use the R&B artists. But I'm asking you for a top five. Your
Uh,
top, yeah,
hmm. Can I combine genres or?
yeah, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. All right. So I gotta put Joe Button in there. I'm gonna say Joyner Lucas,
Okay,
Black, Joe Button, Joyner Lucas, Black. I'm gonna go with Dave East,
okay,
and I'm gonna go with Eric Bellinger.
okay. That's different. Like I like your list. Though. My, this is your our 100th episode in 3 months. So so literally, like I've heard about I want to say 80 top fives.
Oh
They're
wow.
all different in their own way, and there hasn't been one that I've disagreed with.
Okay.
I like yours. Yours is pretty dope. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
thank you for that as well. Next question I have for you. Um, you told me you were from Brooklyn, but are you born and raised?
Born and raised in Brooklyn. I live in Queens, New York right now, but I was born and raised.
Okay, and how was that like growing up there? Because I don't know, of course, but like, you mind like explaining how that situation?
Growing up in Brooklyn, it definitely it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages, just like any other place. Like my mom was very, very strict with me and my brother growing up, so it wasn't like we were out in the streets just like hanging out and stuff like that. I was heavy into basketball at the time, so that was like really my escape out of everything that was going on. But I would say being born and raised there, and I moved around a lot.
Mm.
but I would say being in Brooklyn definitely, groomed
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
the.
Right.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, he froze for a second, so I didn't hear.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So I would say Brooklyn, being from Brooklyn is kind of one of the main reasons that I'm like groom me to be the person and the artist that I am.
For sure. And you mentioned you were into basketball. Like what levels did you play at? Did you play like high school?
I
Like
played till high school. That was actually the one thing that I wanted to do. When I actually stepped away from like music when I was young, like basketball was like always that was like my first love, if you will. Like that was just one thing that I wanted to do. Didn't really work out. And then when it didn't work out, it actually opened up the idea for me to get back into music. So, I learned a lot from basketball that kind of like I apply into my music, like as far as like work ethic, as far as, focus, just everything.
for sure. This is kind of an off-topic question, but since we're on the topic, you have a favorite player?
Uh Michael Jordan. I grew up on Michael Jordan. I mean, I definitely have a lot of other favorite players, but that's the one player that, got me into basketball as a whole. Just everything as far as like the play, just the focus, the mentality, just everything.
All right, and what do you think about your home team, like Brooklyn Nets? What do you think about that?
Well, it'll be interesting when Kevin Durant is healthy. That's what I'll say about that. It's going to be interesting to see. I feel like once Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are healthy and on the same, like on the floor together, it's gonna make for a pretty good team for Brooklyn. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
For sure. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I
Yeah.
don't know what to think about this playoff bubble, but that's not what we're talking about. But that's get back to learning about you, of course. Um, as an artist, like, do you have like any like future producers or future artists you eventually want to work with?
Hmm. Um. I mean, I would say Joe Button, but that's clearly not going to be a thing due to the fact that he's a podcaster now.
Yeah,
But anything can happen. You never know. But I would say the artist that I would love to work with, producer wise, I would say Swiss Beats.
okay,
I always loved his beats like growing up. I would say him, Dr. Dre. For
for
sure. I would love to work with Dr. Dre. Artist wise, hmm, I'll go with on the R&B side. I would love to work with Janae Aiko.
sure, bro. She dope.
I would love to work with Janae Aiko. And on the rapper side, I would go Dave East.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's another dope artist for sure.
yeah, yeah. I fuck with
All right.
him.
The next question I have is strictly like about like when you write a song. Like say for example, if you're in your home studio, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm in my vocal booth right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
So say if you're in a vocal booth, right, and you just like write a song real quick, is there someone that you send it to for like reaction to the song, like positive positive reaction or to get an opinion on it?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a few people that I send the song to, just to get their feedback on, if I should fix something. I would probably say my brother, um, my engineer, who's also a good friend of mine, Jay Cloud, who actually, taught me a lot of stuff as far as like engineering and just, being in the studio. And I also send it by my mom. I mean, she's one of the people that got me into this.
Hmm.
As far as like music, singing, even writing. Like she's pushed me to write since I was young, because again, she saw me as a kid just kind of like bottling stuff in. So
Uh,
she me to write like constantly, constantly, constantly. So like she's a big influence as far as like, just me writing and just me being into music. So those are the people that I kind of like send my music to.
all right. Okay. Sounds good. I'm not sure if I'm correct on this next statement I'm about to say, but
Okay.
you have a new project out, right?
Well, the latest one is Just Show Up. That's
Yeah.
the one that's all streaming platforms right now.
Okay. And what was the like inspiration behind like putting that project out?
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah. Well, I started writing it, I want to say January of 2019, I want to say. Yeah, January 2019. That was a very, very rough transition for me. Um, I had some issues as far as like my job. So like the pay wasn't really coming in. And then around that time my car got repoed, and it was just like a whole bunch of stuff all together. And at that time, the only thing I really could do was just, constantly write. So I was just started writing one song after another, like when I'm on the bus going to work, or just when I'm at home. 'Cause I had a lot of time on my hands, just, besides working, I just had a lot of time on my hands at home. So I just started writing, and it was more like, I came up with the idea of the whole project when I actually did some relief work in Puerto Rico that March actually. And while I was out there, like the title just came to me like, just show up. Basically meaning any type of trials and tribulations that we all deal with and we all go through, you just got to fight through it and show up. You never know what's going to happen. So you just keep going at the pace of just grinding it out, just getting through it. So that was kind of like my motivation during that whole just writing process, and then even the recording process. That's what inspired that whole project.
For sure. And far as like the reaction for the project, like what was the reaction like?
I mean, from everybody that I came in contact with, they loved it. I mean, they at least had one or two songs that they either related to or just enjoyed. So I mean that alone, I did something. So it's definitely something that I want to build on. I mean, I'm definitely proud of it. I'm definitely proud of that project. But it's definitely something I want to build on and just keep leveling up.
For sure. I'm actually looking at it right now. I'm gonna have to check that out later on. But from that project, do you have a favorite track that you did on there?
Uh, I have I have three.
Okay, can you rank them? Or you're allowed to rank them?
Okay. Um, I have three. My third favorite on there would be the title track, "Just Show Up."
Okay.
My second would be "All or Nothing," and then my top favorite song on there would have to be "True Story."
How ironic. That's the first one.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm gonna check that out a little later.
yeah.
And to listen to it today, but after we're done, I'm see what that's like. It looks like it's fire though. Like
Man,
that's
definitely open to the feedback. Whenever you do check it out, sure.
for sure. All right, sounds good as well. As you know, like we are dealing with like a pandemic, of course. Um, has that affected like your music negative or positive, like for like live shows and stuff like that?
Uh, on the negative side of it, yes. I mean, it definitely did cancel some things that I did have planned. I mean, I was supposed to actually do a show in LA in March, and then another one in Georgia in April. But due to the pandemic, we couldn't really do that. But it didn't really like stop. I did a bunch of like IG, performances. And I really used this time to just build my home studio, because that was like the main focus for me, which is crazy because I wasn't even supposed to start building this until the end of this year. So,
Okay.
and for it to be finished, like I actually just finished it probably like 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So it's complete now, and I started actually recording like literally after I was done. So that was probably like the positive to all of this. Just trying to be like keep motivated, keep creating, just keep busy with it. That was like the main thing during this whole time, which is, I must say, very, very hard to do, especially for like a lot of people. Like when you seeing, everything on the news and, like the death tolls, it could definitely put you in a very dark mental state. So
Uh-huh.
my motivation, or like my mantra during this whole thing, was like, don't live in fear, live in motivation. So that's kind of like the thing that I had in my head during this whole time. Just, just keep, basically the same theme of just show up, just keep grinding through it, just keep trying to, have certain goals, and just keep focusing on them. Like that's probably like the one thing that you can do during this time. Just trying to find whatever goal, whatever idea that you have, and then just focus on completing it.
All right. And as an artist, like, how have you been like perfecting like your craft, working on your craft? Has it been like songwriting and like recording?
Yeah. I started, trying to start this whole thing of at least working on a song a day at least.
Mm-hmm.
So writing, whether it's recording, trying to make a beat or something. It was just something that I wanted to try to keep busy with, and just getting that mindset of just creating. So that was like my one thing that I wanted to do, moving like during this whole thing, and continuing forward. So that was, I probably say that's the one thing that I kind of just tried to work on.
For sure. The next title of my question is, I don't know if you're an independent artist or you're signed to a label. I just rather you tell me versus me guess it wrong.
I'm independent.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like far as being an independent artist, like do you like being an independent artist because you can kind of just control like what you do for the time being until like something happens. But do you like being an independent artist?
Yeah. I definitely like being an independent artist, because I just have control of, one, what I'm creating, and two, how I want to be portrayed. So that's one thing. Going into this, I wanted to make sure that I have control over what I want to say, what I want to sing, what I want to, record or write or whatever. Like I want to be in control of that. As much as I've already invested in this, I
Mhm.
want to control. So something um that's something that I enjoy doing. I mean, it's definitely not easy, and it's not for everybody, but it's definitely something that I prefer personally.
All right, and as an artist, like, what do you think I want to say your top three qualities that you yourself bring to the table as an artist?
Hmm, good question. Well, I would say work ethic. Um, like when it comes to my art, I'm a perfectionist. So I'm in here recording till it's done correctly. So I mean, that's definitely like something that I pride myself on. I'm big on lyricism. As far as like, I like to tell stories or paint a picture. So I would say the writing side of things, I definitely um pride myself on that, and focus. You gotta have a certain type of focus and drive with this. So I would say those are my strong qualities.
For sure. Sounds good. Next question I have for you is about like your long-term goal as an artist. Like, do you have a long-term goal, or like what kind of goals do you have long term?
Long term, well, I definitely want to try to build. I want to start taking this time to try to build a fan base. I feel like on the creative side, like that's something that you know I can do, and I've done, and I've perfected, and I can still work on it, obviously. But that's something that I know I have under wraps. So it's just more of just trying to get my music out there more. Getting a lot more people to hear it, build a fan base. That's kind of like my long term goal. Just trying to build on the brand of Elliot Major, like trying to get it more into people's ears, basically.
For sure. Um, my next question is kind of like similar, but like it's more so like on the legacy side. Like, what kind of legacy do you want to leave, like as a brand and as an artist?
Um, well, I want to leave a legacy as far as speaking for those who can't.
Hmm.
Just you know, having a message with the music. Just trying to like have something that somebody can relate to as far as like just getting through the day or getting through the week, or just something that'll get you motivated, like get you motivated to whether going to school, whether it's getting that job or getting that promotion or doing music, trying to make it to the NBA, whatever it is, just trying to like motivate somebody else, just to be great and do something.
For sure. Sounds good. I'm gonna move away from business questions for a second.
Okay.
Um, this next one is like more so like your personal hobbies. Like, what do you like to do, like outside of like doing music, work, business related activities, of course.
Okay. Well, basketball, obviously. I mean, that's something I still do well, I haven't been able to do due to the pandemic, but that's definitely something I love to do whenever I get a chance. Basketball. Uh, I love movies. I'm a big movie head. See what else. I'm a big kid, so I'm kind of like into like laser tag, bowling, go karts, video games at times. So I'm for the most part I'm just laid back, chill. But I'm also a big kid at heart too. So
For
those.
sure. I'm gonna go back to the basketball for a second.
All right.
Are you like a bucket?
uh, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Sure.
I'm pretty all right with
Just wanted to get that in there
it.
for sure. I'm gonna move back to questions about you, of course.
All right.
Um, you mentioned like doing like the IG live like concerts, if that's an accurate way for me to put it.
Mm.
How do you go about like, I guess, connecting and like setting that up?
Well, I did a couple with this group, Top National Talent. They had a couple, I think in March or April. I did like a couple with them. Um, this one guy who does like an open mic in like upstate New York. I did like one with him. Just kind of just like for content purposes, and just to kind of just hone in on performing and stuff like that. That's kind of like what that was. And I actually did a in studio performance thing. Kind of like recorded me just performing like a couple songs off the EP and like a new teaser trailer type song. And I posted it probably like last week. So just trying to find creative ways of just, getting some content out there.
For sure. I'm not sure if that's the one you sent me. I think,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that I shot in my studio. Yeah.
yeah, that one was pretty dope for sure.
Thank you.
Far as your style, like, what do you think your style as an artist is? Like, do you think it's more on the lyricist side, songwriting side, freestyle side?
I would say lyrical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I pride myself on just being able to, tell a whole story and paint a picture with words. That's like the one thing that, I worked hard to try to get, as far as like, what am I saying on the song? What am I going to be saying in on this beat or when I'm recording? Like, what type of message am I going to be putting out there? So I pride myself on that. As of late, I've been trying to work more on the singing side, just
Mm-hmm.
melodies and stuff like that. So I'm kind of perfecting that a little bit more, but I still try to mix in both.
For sure. Okay. Sounds good as well. The next question I have for you as an artist, like, is there anyone like you compare yourself to, or you're on the mindset that I am my own person and I'm just unique in my own way?
Um, I want to say I'm unique in my own way. But I will say that there's certain people that inspire uh certain creative workflows. Um, so it would have to be between Joe Button and Black. Joe Button on the rapping side and Black on the melodic side.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of listening to their music and just how they went about approaching certain songs. I kind of adapted that, but used my style and used my words and used like my story to tell or to portray the song basically.
For sure. Sounds good. Next question I have is about like two artists like writing verses like after each other, so like a feature.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you this question. So say if like you're working with another artist, right, and you guys are gonna do a song together.
Mm.
Say you write your verse first. You write your verse first, and then he lays his verse. Has there ever been a situation where you hear someone else verse and you're like, "Oh crap, maybe I should change this." Like I don't know how this is gonna go right now.
You mean as far as like I thought their verse was like better or
Yeah.
something? Okay. Um, Maybe once or twice,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like it happens off. Not trying to sound cocky or anything like that, but it
Yeah.
does too often.
Mhm.
Probably like once or twice, like when I first started.
Okay.
I'm more on putting my best foot forward when it comes to writing, period. Even if I recorded something and I heard that person's verse and they sounded dope, it would just give me motivation for the next song. So I try my best to just like I said what I said in that song or in that verse, and then apply whatever I feel like he or she got the best on me the last song, and just apply it to the next one.
For sure. Just want to get your opinion on that. Like I heard some stories about it. I was watching a YouTube video like 2 days ago.
Mm.
This was like an NWA story, by the way. Like,
Uh,
so, like, there was DOC, right? The dude that was in NWA, and then there was Ice Cube. And he's like, yo, like, I wrote my verse, and then he wrote his, so I had to go back to the drawing board. So, like, I wanted to, like, get your opinion on
yeah,
that.
I think that happened once. Actually, a friend of mine who actually got me into music, who actually got me into recording. We were working on this freestyle or something like that, and I think I wrote my verse, and I recorded it. I think I was the first one to record it. Recorded it. They came behind and laid some verses down. I think one of them, like, it sounded pretty dope. So then I was like, you know what? I kind of want to go back. And so like I wrote it differently, and ironically, after I wrote it, the song never came out. So I don't know what that means, but that's probably one of those situations where I definitely wanted to double back and kind of like do a little better.
For sure. Sounds good. Appreciate your insight on that. I kind of wanted to get your opinion on that as well.
No problem.
Um, what about like if someone wants to find more information about you as an artist, more information about your music? Like, is there like a link in your bio?
Yes. Actually, the link in my bio is to the project. Just Show Up. It's on all streaming platforms. Any type of announcements or new music that I post or promote will be on my IG, which is Elliot_Major. Sorry,
Or
ElliotMajor.ems. Also have a YouTube channel, have some music videos on there. Looking to put more content out. Also my Facebook page, Elliot Major. Those are basically the places where I have everything.
for sure. Sounds good. Um, Let me ask you this question. Like, far as like social media, as you know, like that's like one of the biggest things in the world, like for like business and being an artist.
Yeah.
There a certain one that you think is bigger than the other one? Do you like have a preference when like far as like getting content out, music content out?
I find myself on Instagram a lot more posting things. I'm trying to find a balance
Hmm.
with all social medias. But I find myself on Instagram a lot more. As far as like posting new content, premiering new content, or announcing that I'm gonna have a new song out or something like that. I'm on Instagram. So I'll probably say Instagram.
For sure. I agree with you because I like Instagram too. I just got into Twitter, by the way, but
I have not figured out Twitter for the life of me. And my friend trying to get me to like, yo, you need to be on here. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, but I do need to try though. I definitely do need to try. So
yeah, it's definitely different. But I compare it to, I guess I can compare it to like Facebook, I guess, but
yeah.
without the videos, like the Facebook lives, without that, it doesn't that. But you can only message people if you follow them. So it's kind of weird. So I'm
Yeah.
just nah, bro, I'm good. I'm chilling. Like I'll post random stuff. Like I'll say so and so's coming on, but I'm not about to go into like the other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I just haven't really gotten the grip on it. And it's just like people keep saying, yo, you have to be on Twitter. You gotta be on Twitter. I'm like, I try it and it's just like I'm not seeing it. So,
Yeah.
I gotta try it though, I guess.
And then there's this TikTok I keep hearing about.
Yeah, that's another one. But honestly, I've tried it a little bit more than I've tried Twitter. So, as far as like like say I'm in the studio, I'm recording something, I put something on there. I still have to get the hang of it. I still got to get the hang on everything. It's just all about, just being on there consistently and, trying to build that fan base. So
For sure. On social media, like, are you like, I guess, do you communicate with your fan base? Like, if someone sends you a DM, like, do you like have an interaction with them?
yeah, I try to. When people reach out to me as far as like music or that they like something, I try to, engage or thank them for the time of just, listening, because, anybody who can listen to the music and actually appreciate what I'm doing, I appreciate them. So I'm if I see it and it's there, I definitely reach out. I reach back. So
For sure. Sounds good. And far as that new studio you got over there, how how's that treating you?
Very well.
I think we froze for a second.
Like it's a good feeling to be able to wake up and just get to work when I want to record like whenever I have like an idea. I don't have to wait to book a session. I just go to work, and it's definitely boosted my creativity. So I'm like, after I get off of here, I'm gonna get to work. So it's definitely something that I like. It probably the best investment that I have as far as music. Like, it's the best investment I've ever done.
Okay. So once the pandemic is over and hopefully everything goes back to normal, hopefully,
Mhm.
um, you're gonna like be having like say if you have features, are you gonna like have people come to the studio?
Uh, yeah, I would definitely. Well, once everything calms down, of course, we got to be safe, obviously. But yeah, once everything calms down, I definitely book sessions or have people come through, to record certain things and stuff like that. So that's why I'm just using this time as far as like just to get acclimated to everything. So when that time comes, I'll be just ready to go.
For sure. All right. Let me ask you this question about like far as the pandemic. Like, what have you found out about yourself during the pandemic?
Um, what I found out about myself during the pandemic, I'll say I'll have to say the one thing that I've learned about myself is the power of putting your goals out into the universe. As far as like whatever goal that one would have, just putting it out there, believing in it, like planning it out the right way, and just know that it's not gonna happen overnight, but just knowing that step by step is going to happen. That's definitely something that I learned. I mean, even with this studio, I mean, I didn't know if I was gonna complete it, but I knew it that I wanted. So
Yeah,
it was probably like in March, like around my birthday. Like I had it in my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start this right now. And it was very that was a that was a gamble, as far as like, because I'm not working full time at the time, and I don't know if I'm going to get a check or anything like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to get this done. So, um, being able to put it out there and believe in it and actually, plan it out step by step, and then it's actually like a reality. I mean, that's like, you can't write that. So, that's something I definitely learned about myself.
yeah. I always said like when I talk to like other people off podcasts, like due to this pandemic, you should come out with something. You,
Absolutely.
as
Absolutely. I mean, this is the time. If you ever had, especially for like artists, I mean, if you've ever had an idea or a song or just where you envision yourself, this is the time to plan it. This ain't the time to just be sitting around. You know, that's cool too. Because everybody needs that time to just like meditate and just get your mind right and rebalance yourself. But if you have an idea or if you have a plan, this is the time to put that in motion. And when it's all said and done, when you're out of here, you should be ready to go, like ready to go. And that's something that's why I said, like, I live in fear, not, or don't live in fear, live in inspiration.
for
Like,
sure.
you have to find ways to inspire yourself and others. So by the time this is done, you should be a better person, number one, for yourself, and have a better idea of what you want to do.
For
And
sure.
that's something that I tried to do to the best of my ability this entire time.
Sounds good. The last statement you said you should get that on a shirt.
Working on that. I'm working on it.
For sure. But This podcast only exists because of the pandemic, by the way.
Hey, see what I'm saying? That's the whole thing right there. You know what I mean? So like, you know, anything, any type of idea can be birthed from all of this. You know, it's just a matter of just sitting down and just thinking like, yo, what is it that I could be doing right now? And like you just said, like this, and you're like what, 100 interviews in already?
Today is the 100th episode. You are the 100th episode, actually. So thank you for that.
No, thank you for having me. You know, and that's very commendable. Congratulations for sure. Like, you know, that's a big deal. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate you saying yes. So thank you for that. We have about 10 minutes left, so I'm not sure if you know how Instagram Live works. So
No.
oh, I'll tell you this because I usually tell everyone. So if we're chatting for an hour, like literally after an hour, it'll give me a 2-minute warning. You can't see it.
Okay.
Like if we go to like 5:30, for example, it'll give me a 2-minute warning. I'll see it. I'll let you know because I don't like the interviews to like cut off randomly. So
Right.
I like to give an actual exit. So then the
Okay.
video say, yeah. So I just wanted to get that out there to you.
For
So
sure.
yeah. Back to talking about you because we have like 9 minutes left.
Okay.
But is there anything else you wanted to share that you didn't get to share with us like right now?
Um. Well, I definitely plan on releasing a lot more music and content moving forward. Like I said, I don't have a date just yet as when I'm gonna start releasing stuff, but I have been working. Got a lot of music that's on the way. The first few songs I'm probably gonna start releasing is gonna have to do with a lot of the police brutality stuff that's been going on because that's like a big issue. The whole George Floyd thing actually like it hit me a little different. So that inspired a lot of the music that I've been working on lately. But definitely a lot more content. I'm trying to get more visuals out, you know, and trying to engage more on social media. So those are the goals that I have for right now. So definitely for those, you know, stay tuned because there's definitely gonna be a lot of music coming.
For sure. I will be patiently waiting for that new music to drop actually.
For sure.
But yeah. I thank you for chatting with me. Like it was pretty dope.
Thanks
I,
for having me.
I enjoyed it. Before I let you go, I am gonna stream this probably in the next 30 minutes, I believe. So
Okay.
I'll stream it to our YouTube channel, which we just started using, by the way.
Okay.
Stream it there. I probably stream it to Twitch, and I'll make like some post about it, just so you know what it is.
Awesome. All right.
And we'll do that. And if you want a copy of this video, you can DM me your email address, and I'll send that to you.
All right. Cool. Got you.
For sure. You're 3 hours ahead, I believe, right?
Uh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I hope you enjoy your 4th of July weekend.
You as
Um,
well.
and thank you for joining in, and I'll get that information out to you once you send me your email.
All right. Definitely. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. You too, man.